Everyone, hope everything is going well. I wanted to do a video. It's going to be a hybrid of macroeconomics, just as a warning, and also sports cards. So, for those that don't want to hear this video, I completely understand. And it's okay if I don't get many views on this video, this blog, my YouTube channel. I think out loud. And I know it's unconventional, but at the end of the day, this is what I want to do. I was thinking, should I do it on a finance channel or should I do it on my AIH Sports channel? And I ended up deciding to do it on AIH Sports. Now, I wanted to show this one graph. I said a while back, this is my favorite indicator for sports cards. I also like it for gold. I am heavily invested. I speculate in gold. Stocks, miners, the whole nine yards. And I've been through the good times and the bad times, and I've learned lessons from it. And this is the most important chart from it. And I've done videos on this in the past, the 10-year tips. You could take a look at it. And if you haven't seen it, just comment in the section or comment down below, and I'll just send you to one of my videos that I've discussed this. Anyways, why I want to talk about this, I used to say that, hey, look, I look at the 10-year tips because I do believe that gold and sports cards, they respond to negative interest rates, meaning when this is below zero, that's negative. When this is positive, it responds negatively, or it should be. And if it isn't, then I want to take a look at why. Okay. I will get into sports cards, and I do have the card ladder indices out there. I just want to say that, hey, look, since October of last year, gold has been on a tear, and that basically coincided with the 10-year tips topping out. Okay. Yeah, gold rallied a little before that, but still, at the end of the day, 10-year tips was high. And look at where it is now. It was 2.47. This is what's still positive, but less, 1.75. And it's holding up well in a positive interest rate environment. That's where we're at. Okay. And what I used to say in my older videos, I said, hey, look, in 2018, I got into sports cards without looking at 10-year tips, right? I was at a thrift store or an antique store. My wife used to go to that a lot, so I went there and I saw sports cards. I'm like, hey, this is pretty interesting. I bought like a dollar Chipper Jones card, rookie card, one of the first purchases there. But around that time, I was like researching so much about sports cards, and I didn't even notice this. But first of all, the Gary V effect, you got a lot of people into sports cards from him. And two, you had his 10-year tips, right? It was like positive 1.15. And during the pandemic, it went negative. And that's when it went negative, sports cards went crazy. And yeah, it was a different environment. We were locked in at home. We got stimmy checks. There's PPP, hanky panky going on. So yeah, people threw their money into sports cards, collectibles. And a lot of the markets topped out in like March when I was doing videos about it. But the other cards, if you look at it, you look at Marvel PMGs, you look at also F1 craze, they started to fizzle out, ironically, right when these rates went positive. It went from negative to positive. So no more Marvel PMG pumping was able to go on when you had this phenomenon going on. And I was calling them pump and dumps, and some people got mad that I was saying that. Anyways, I want to now look at sports cards, and I had the assistance of Tom, aka Pancake Analytics, and I was telling him in a DM, hey, like, hey, look, gold has been going up since October. What I've noticed is that the 10-year tips yield has been going down. And he said he'll take a look at it. And this is his research, okay? And he is associated with Card Ladder. I just got a Card Ladder account. I paid for it on my own, okay? I'm not getting, a deal from them or anything like that. And I've got a deal from not a deal, but I got that Card Ladder account because, hey, we're gonna be going through some tough times in the economy, and I want to look at price action. And the reality of the situation is, I do know that Pancake Analytics is associated with them, and I respect his work. And that's probably the only reason why I chose Card Ladder over Market Movers. I have more confidence in what Pancake Analytics does and the recommendations that he's doing behind the scenes for them. So that's why I got it. I have critiqued them, but what would I choose? Card Ladder or Market Movers? I'd say Card Ladder. Anyways, this is what he did. He smoothed out the data. He did like a casual um, forecast, or not forecast, just analysis. I'm not too familiar with this. Hopefully he incorporates like the 10-year tips into some of his research in the future and he could explain this. But he has a different analysis than Card Ladder does on their website. But he said for baseball, he used the like my idea of like the 10-year tips, or not my idea. I've seen it from gold traders like David Brady. I really follow his work on Twitter. I like his work. But anyways, he says since the 10-year tips topped out in late October 2023, the impact on baseball cards has been 416.48, which is a percentage change of 5.33. So his data says baseball has done well, okay? And what else is basketball? Now you have to remember basketball may be skewed because of Michael Jordan and the star card, but he still did the analysis, and he says since the 10-year tips topped out in late October, the impact on basketball cards has been 251.54, which is a percentage change of 116.74%. Okay. So he's seeing positive trends with these markets. Now he looked at other markets, not so hot. Okay. So these were the two winners based on his analysis. Now I wanted to look at Card Ladder though. And I wanted to look at, okay, what's the year-to-date change? And indices that have been doing well. Okay, there's tennis, there's football. Football, I find very interesting. The reason why I think that's very interesting is because we have an off season right now, or we're in training camp, preseason games are going on, so is it like buy the rumor, sell the news before the season starts? I don't know. But based on Card Ladder's data, it's been going up. Okay. Let's look at basketball. So their basketball index actually isn't too high. Let's do year to date, or let's go from here, January. Okay, it's like I said, slight increase from late this year. Remember, there is the Star Jordan card out there. So take it for what it is. If you remove that now, would that index be negative? Okay. Let's see what else has been. High pop. What's in high pop? Whose count is 200 and greater. This is an interesting way to look at it. So this is saying, and what cards does it have? Like Michael Jordan Star, BGS 85, Willie Mays 305, PSA 2, PSA 5, 82. The only critique that I would have is the volume. It's not like a volume of stocks, for instance. Like if you trade Apple stock, there's millions of shares that trade. Coinbase, whatever, right? You have a lot of shares trading. For this, okay, you have some volume, but it's not significant compared to that. So I would consider, once again, sports cards illiquid. Now, people have different definitions than me. It is what it is, okay? So I'm just looking at it, okay, 10-year tips going down, but if you just look at these other indices, you're starting to see some appreciation. Now, you have to remember when you sell a card, you have to include the fees, unless you're selling it in cash, then that's a different thing. Okay, that's a different um, way to measure it. Okay, let's look at what is it called? Let's look at some other players. Let's look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady. Tom Brady. Let's. I can't do year to date on this, but it's slightly higher. Okay. But since October, since 10-year tips, it hasn't gone higher. So that's interesting. Okay. Take a note of that. Michael Jordan. I want to go to Jordan. Let's go to Jordan. So it's saying since October, Jordan cards are higher, but what's the caveat? Caveat is the star 101 Jordan. So that could be, one reason why it's skewing it, but it's saying it's up. Saying it's up over year, it's up 14.8%. That's how much like the star Jordan has done for the index. Okay. Let's see who else. Who else would you look at? Got Jordan, Brady. Let's look at LeBron. Or let's look at a different sport. Wayne Gretzky. Brett, do they have a Gretzky? No, they don't have a Gretzky. Okay, let's look at LeBron James then. Yeah, LeBron James index. Since October, it's gone down. Let's see year to date. Year to date, like flat. Hasn't done too much. What cards are in it? There's 1,087 cards. You can see like the score weighting. I don't think it's as bad here, but it is what it is. So, this indicator that I used to hold in high regard, well, it's telling me that maybe I shouldn't be looking at this indicator for sports cars as I once used to. Now, the devil's advocate response would be, well, it's interest rates are still positive. So when you have positive interest rates, guess what? They're not going to react as well. Gold, on the other hand, has reacted positively. Let's look at, Max, where it was. You know, gold started to do well when 10-year tips bottomed out. So it works for gold. Okay. But will it be working for sports cars when these rates go negative? That is the question. I would I wouldn't be surprised if cards pick up in a very negative interest rate environment, but we're not there yet. And that's because probably interest rates, according to the market, they're probably a little higher than where they should be. Goes negative, I wouldn't be surprised if you see some high-end cards temporarily or collectibles spiking up like crazy. You could see other alternative assets. This is not investment advice. This is just me thinking out loud. Like Bitcoin. You could see just a crazy zany run-up move if it goes negative for just a time bit. And some of these also Jordan cards, Brady cards, LeBron James cards, and so on. So I wanted to look at this. Once again, thank you to Pancake Analytics for helping me do this video. Thank you.